A relationship is meant to be a source of comfort, support, and happiness. In a healthy partnership, both individuals can grow, communicate openly, and feel secure. But not all relationships nurture our well-being. Some can quietly erode our self-esteem, sap our energy, and leave us feeling trapped or diminished. Recognizing the signs of a toxic relationship is crucial, whether it's romantic, familial, or even a close friendship. Understanding these signs empowers us to make choices that prioritize our mental and emotional health. The first and perhaps most telling sign of a toxic relationship is a persistent feeling of unease. This feeling often starts subtly. You might notice yourself dreading interactions, feeling anxious before seeing the person, or experiencing a sense of relief when you're apart. Healthy relationships can have moments of tension, but they don't leave you feeling constantly on edge. Trust your instincts. If you regularly feel worse after interactions, it's worth examining why. Communication is the foundation of any meaningful relationship. In a toxic dynamic, communication often breaks down or becomes weaponized. There might be frequent misunderstandings, shouting matches, or icy silences that last for days. Sometimes there's manipulation, conversations twisted to make you doubt your memory, intentions, or sanity. This is often called gaslighting, and it can leave you feeling confused and isolated. In healthy relationships, even difficult conversations are approached with respect and a desire for understanding. In toxic ones, words are used to control, belittle, or silence. Pay attention to how criticism is delivered and received. Constructive criticism is a normal part of growth, but in toxic relationships, criticism is constant, harsh, and personal. Rather than addressing specific behaviors, it attacks your character or worth. Phrases like, "You're always so selfish," or "You never do anything right," are red flags. Over time, this kind of negativity chips away at your self-esteem and can make you question your value. Control is another hallmark of toxicity. This can take many forms, some obvious and some subtle. Perhaps your partner dictates how you dress, who you spend time with, or how you spend your money. They might demand access to your phone or social media accounts, cloaking their behavior in concern or jealousy. Control can also manifest as relentless criticism of your friends and family, isolating you from your support network. In healthy relationships, both people are free to make their own choices and maintain their individuality. In toxic ones, one person's need for control suffocates the other. Jealousy is a natural human emotion, but when it becomes extreme or irrational, it can poison a relationship. Toxic partners might accuse you of flirting, cheating, or being untrustworthy without cause. They might interrogate you about your whereabouts or friendships. This kind of jealousy is not about love, it's about insecurity and control. Rather than fostering trust, it creates a climate of suspicion and fear. Boundaries are essential for any relationship to thrive. In toxic relationships, boundaries are routinely disrespected or ignored. You might say you need space, only to have your wishes dismissed or mocked. Your privacy may be violated, and your needs minimized. In healthy relationships, boundaries are honored and negotiated with care. In toxic ones, your boundaries are trampled, leaving you feeling powerless. Another warning sign is a lack of support. In a nurturing relationship, your successes are celebrated and your struggles are met with empathy. In a toxic dynamic, your achievements might be dismissed, minimized, or even ridiculed. Your partner may compete with you, resent your happiness, or take credit for your accomplishments. When you're struggling, they might ignore your pain or use it against you. Over time, this lack of support can make you feel alone, even when you're not. Manipulation is a common thread in toxic relationships. This might look like guilt-tripping you into doing things you're uncomfortable with, or using your vulnerabilities as ammunition in arguments. You might find yourself constantly apologizing, even when you've done nothing wrong, or changing your behavior to avoid conflict. Manipulation undermines your confidence and autonomy, leaving you feeling like you can never do enough. Healthy relationships are built on trust, respect, and equality. In a toxic relationship, there's often a significant imbalance of power. One person may dominate decision-making, control finances, or hold authority in other ways. Your opinions and desires may be routinely dismissed, making you feel invisible or unimportant. This power dynamic can be subtle, but its impact is profound. Constant drama is another sign that something isn't right. Every relationship has its ups and downs, but if your relationship feels like a never-ending cycle of arguments, reconciliations, and new crises, it may be toxic. This volatility can be emotionally exhausting and make it difficult to find stability or peace. Dishonesty is also a major red flag. Lies, secrets, and half-truths erode trust and make genuine connection impossible. You might catch your partner lying about small things, hiding their actions, or twisting the truth to suit their needs. Over time, this dishonesty breeds suspicion and prevents intimacy from taking root. It's also important to consider how the relationship affects your sense of self. Do you feel like you have to hide parts of who you are to avoid conflict? Do you feel ashamed, guilty, or unworthy because of how you're treated? Toxic relationships can distort your self-image, making it hard to remember who you were before. You might find yourself withdrawing from friends, neglecting your interests, or losing confidence in your abilities. Blame shifting is common in toxic dynamics. No matter the issue, your partner finds a way to make it your fault. They refuse to take responsibility for their actions, and instead project their shortcomings onto you. This can leave you feeling perpetually guilty or wrong, even when the facts say otherwise. Physical, verbal, or emotional abuse are the most serious signs of a toxic relationship. Abuse takes many forms: shouting, name-calling, threats, intimidation, or physical harm. Sometimes abuse is more subtle: silent treatment, humiliation, or persistent put-downs. Any form of abuse is unacceptable and can have lasting consequences on your mental and physical health. Another subtle sign is feeling drained after spending time together. Instead of feeling energized or content, you feel exhausted, anxious, or low. Healthy relationships replenish us, while toxic ones deplete our energy and joy. Pay attention to how conflict is resolved. In nurturing relationships, disagreements are handled with respect, and both people work toward understanding. In toxic relationships, conflict often escalates, with no real resolution. Apologies may be insincere or used to placate you without any real change in behavior. If you find yourself making excuses for the other person's actions, downplaying their behavior to friends, or rationalizing things you know are wrong, it's worth reflecting on why. Often, we want to believe the best about those we care for, but ignoring or minimizing toxic behaviors only prolongs the harm. Lastly, ask yourself whether you feel safe, emotionally, mentally, and physically. Safety is the bedrock of any healthy relationship. If you feel threatened, scared to express yourself, or worried about retaliation, these are serious signs that the relationship is toxic. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward reclaiming your well-being. It can be difficult to acknowledge when a relationship is harmful, especially if you care deeply for the person involved. But remember, you deserve respect, kindness, and support. If you recognize these patterns in your relationship, reach out to trusted friends, family, or a professional for guidance. Healing is possible, and you are not alone. Prioritizing your health and happiness is not selfish. It's essential.